What do you mean Cats is better than Hamilton? Okay, yes, I like Cats, love it even, but I'm pretty sure Satisfied would beat Memory on the opinion polls any day. What the? Okay, look, I gotta go, but trust me, this conversation is not over. Hiya, geeks! How's it going? So I am a major cinephile. One only has to take one look at all the movie posters that I own to know that I love movies. I'm also a major Disney-phile. Just looking at my list of top 10 favorite movies of all time, the majority of them were either made or distributed by Disney. Sometimes I'm asked what my favorite Disney movie is, and my answer is always the same. Not only is it my favorite Disney movie ever, it's also my favorite movie. Well, I mean, it's my favorite movie, favorite soundtrack, favorite musical. The stars are my favorite animal. It's pretty much favorite everything except in two categories. Favorite musical cast recording and favorite Disney remake. And that favorite is none other than The Lion King. The story of The Lion King is a tale as old as time. Wrong movie, bro. An epic coming-of-age story that, as the great Thomas Schumacher says, is a story told by animals, but is ultimately a tale of all of humanity. How we live, how we interact, how we form friendships, what our roles in our families and communities are, and, above all, what our place in the circle of life is. Lion King follows the energetic young lion cub Simba, who is eager to follow in the footsteps of his mighty father Mufasa, king of the Pride Lands. But it is only after a string of tragic events happen that Simba begins to understand what it means to grow up, to take on responsibility, and to find your place in the world. Simba's entire life, and this entire movie, is an emotional roller coaster. From being betrayed by his envious Uncle Scar, who usurps the throne and sends Simba into exile, to finding comfort and camaraderie with two new friends, the wisecracking, fast-talking meerkat Timon, and the flatulent but big-hearted warthog Pumbaa, to being reunited with his childhood best friend and betrothed, Nala, the once adventure-craving Simba ultimately learns that, cue the tagline! The greatest adventure of all is finding our place in the circle of life. The sheer scale of this film is overwhelming. Very few traditionally animated films convey the feeling of being small in the midst of monumental places or creatures such as Pride Rock or the Elephant Graveyard. Only one other film that conveys this kind of feeling comes to mind off the top of my head, and that is The Prince of Egypt, a DreamWorks animated film that came out 4.5 years following The Lion King and is also in my top 10 favorite movies. The marriage of the artistry on screen and the epic score composed by the all-time great Hans Zimmer and the songs composed by the unstoppable duo of Elton John and Tim Rice is truly beautiful and epic. Two examples of how music and imagery work so great together in this film are the Circle of Life sequence at the beginning of the film and the wildebeest stampede. The Circle of Life sequence starts with the iconic sunrise, while Lebo M's unforgettable Zulu call rings out. Fun fact, the Zulu call actually translates loosely to, "Here comes a lion, father." The animals are then shown journeying to Pride Rock, where they will see and pay their respects to their future king, the infant Simba. The music rises and falls as the scene plays out. Starting out gentle as we see the animals journeying towards Pride Rock, and then swelling as Pride Rock looms into view for the first time. And again when Simba is anointed and then presented to the subjects. You know the image I'm talking about, everybody does! Not only do the first 5 minutes offer some of the most gripping and iconic moments of the film, and the entire Disney library, but arguably the world of cinema as a whole. As Carmen Twilly sings the Oscar-nominated anthem, and the incredible imagery that complements the music moves across the screen, one can't help but become fully immersed in the world of The Lion King. The same effect is also achieved in the Broadway musical during the opening sequence, with Rafiki, whose gender is changed for the musical, singing the moving songs and the animals making their way across the stage and even through the audience. As the sun rises, the set opens up to reveal Pride Rock, and the lighting portrays a beautiful, brilliant morning with its bright shades of orange and later on, blue. McCavity. As for the stampede scene, Hans Zimmer's epic score complements the equally epic and terrifying visuals. As Simba runs for his life from a wildebeest stampede started by Scar's hyena henchmen, Scar finds Mufasa and Mufasa races to the gorge to try and save his son. Or so he thinks. Little does he suspect that betrayal is in store for him. Thrilling visuals of the stampede running towards and around Simba, and the way that the camera moves and the angles that are shown throughout the scene, are terrifyingly immersive and heart-pounding. Hans Zimmer's score, with the vocals once again directed by Lebo M, add to our feelings of fear and apprehension. All of this culminates in a final emotional blow as the scene comes to a tragic close. Now, we all know how this ends. Fun fact, the wildebeest stampede scene actually took the entirety of the film's production to make, as the creative team had to create new software in order to render the thousands of wildebeest running on screen and keep them from running into each other. The characters and the people who lend their voices to them are endearing and memorable. Matthew Broderick voices the adult Simba, who leads a carefree life in the jungle with Timon, voiced by comedy favorite Nathan Lane, who would actually later co-star with Matthew Broderick in the stage adaptation of The Producers, as well as star in the film adaptation of the musical, and Pumbaa, voiced by fellow Broadway veteran Ernie Sabella. Star Wars alum James Earl Jones, who voices the majestic Mufasa. Well, first of all, let's just say that James Earl Jones sounds exactly like a lion would if a lion spoke. He brings such power to the character, as well as portraying his gentle side perfectly. It's really no wonder they brought him back for the remake earlier this year, in which he once again slayed as Mufasa. As for Mufasa's treacherous brother Scar, well, first of all, Scar and the imagery involved with him has left me scarred for life. No pun intended. Okay, pun intended. I mean, seriously, that shot of him jumping through the fire, claws out and ready to kill, would scare the crap out of any child. On top of that is the brilliant vocal work of Jeremy Irons. If the Academy had awards for vocal work in animated films, I'm pretty sure Jeremy Irons would have won, or at least have been nominated, for Best Vocal Work by a Supporting Actor in an Animated Film. As for Scar's hyena henchmen, Banzai, Shenzi, and Ed, they're voiced by Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, and Jim Cummings, respectively, and they portray their characters so well. Now, I know that the hyenas have come under a lot of controversy in this film, but again, it's a film, so give them a break. Fun fact, Jim Cummings actually covered for Jeremy Irons at one point during Be Prepared, as Irons blew out his voice at one point and couldn't sing anymore. If you listen carefully to Be Prepared, you can kind of hear the vocal shift towards the end. The story takes inspiration from several sources, including William Shakespeare's Hamlet, which also features a familial betrayal, and the biblical stories of Joseph and Moses. The scene with Mufasa's ghost kind of serves as the Lion King's version of Moses' burning bush, while ultimately telling an original story. This was, at the time, a departure from Disney's usual adaptations of fairy tales, such as Snow White, Cinderella, or Sleeping Beauty, and books such as 101 Dalmatians, The Great Mouse Detective, and The Black Cauldron. The film serves as a perfect example of Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces, which showcases heroes from various myths and stories and show how all go through the same archetypal story. The hero answers a call to adventure, with help from his friends, both old and new, and faces many trials along the way. In his darkest hour, he finds new strength, which allows him to overcome his greatest obstacle. After that, the hero reaps the rewards of his trials and life goes back to normal, but in a new way. The hero has been changed for good, and his life now reflects that. Something else that makes this story so great is the humanity of the story. As I stated earlier, one of the film's executive producers and the musical's co-producer, Thomas Schumacher, has stated that while this story is told by animals, in the end, it's a tale of all humanity, how we all find our place in the world. So, all told, I absolutely love The Lion King. It's a visual feast coupled with an epic score and great songs, some of the best songs in the Disney canon. Both the score and Can You Feel the Love Tonight ultimately won the Academy Awards for Best Original Score and Best Original Song, respectively. Memorable characters and incredible messages about perseverance, courage, wisdom, and responsibility. To be honest, I don't think its status as my all-time favorite movie is ever going to change. The sun will never set on The Lion King's reign in my life. It has moved and inspired me for years and will continue to do so until the sun sets on my time here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a big like if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on The Lion King or what your all-time favorite movie is. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. But for now, hello? Hi? Yes? You're back? Okay, good. Now, be honest with me. Who is the better ladies' man, Alexander Hamilton or the Rum Tum Tugger?